Due to YouTube and the COPPA laws, if you are under the age of 18 and are watching this video, please stop now. This content was not intended for you. Hey everybody, it's TMIKA. I am here to share with you guys the process on how I created these cute little planners. My word for 2023 is AIM, and I wanted to have something to match my Elizabeth Craft Designs planner. I'll have the video linked down below. This video is a Yixuan scrapbooking video, so let me show you how I created this cute banner. I started out by pulling out some items. I'll link all of those down below in the description box. I also pulled out some heavy cardstock and some Cardstock Warehouse copper paper. And then I just started to cut out my gears, which I'll have linked down below as well. And I wanted to make sure that I got the smaller ones because I wanted to add them to each of my banners. I also pulled some letters from my stash and cut those out as well. One piece for each, but I did the banners in 2 layers, or 1 layer for each of the letters, but the banner in 2 layers. So I want to make sure that was nice and sturdy. So I couldn't decide on which one I was going to use. So I decided on this cute nesting scallop banner, which is perfect. And then I got to cutting. I used my desktop cutting machine, my diamond press. It worked. The long folder worked this time. And I was able to cut out multiple dies at once. So I like when she's happy with me. So I was able to do that quite quickly. So once I got all of those pieces cut out, I went through and flicked off the extra, which didn't take long. But look how pretty those gears and those letters cut out. Those are so cute. Great for a masculine card as well. But today we're going to use them in my non-specific, because this can go male or female. So anyway, flicking off those little pieces, and voila, we have all of our pieces cut and ready to go. What I'm going to do now is separate what I'm going to gesso. So I just need 3 of the large ones and 3 of the small ones. And then I'm just showing you how the gears and everything cut out really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and take this gesso and add it to the top layer of all of these pieces. I have my little background sheet that's sitting on top of another plastic sheet. I really don't want to get my desk messed up. But this is a base for the media that I'm going to put on top. So make sure that nothing seeps through this heavy cardstock that I'm using. So I just do that to all 3 pieces, and then the smaller pieces, which I will later add some tissue paper to. I hit that with my heat gun, make sure that it is nice and dry, because 1, I am impatient, and 2, it just gets the job done quicker instead of waiting. So I'm going to use this Pixma stencil, but not yet. I'm going to wrap some of this tape gauze, this really drywall gauze that I've had in my stash for a while. I'm using it for texture here. So I'm just going to cut a little piece off and just add little bits and pieces to my pennant pieces, like I said, to add some texture when I add all of the rest of the things that I'm going to put on top of my pennant. So I saw that there's a lot of things that you can use for texture, and this is one of those, so I decided to try it. Then I added a little bit of gesso and some Waverly White chalk paint. I got that from Walmart, to a little jar, mixed it in very well so I can make a quick paste for that Pixma stencil that I'm now going to use. And I just picked a nice little part on the stencil that I wanted to use, and I kind of haphazardly added to the tag, which is what I wanted. Didn't want it super perfect. I just kind of see how I have it kind of lazy on the side. It's tilted a little bit, just a little script for the background. I didn't want it directly on there, and I wanted to make sure that it got over the gauze and I was able to show a little bit better. Not the gauze, the drywall tape. So this came on quite quickly, and then I'm going to go ahead and tap that with the heat gun as well. It works. It dries very nicely, so I was able to get that done quite quickly once I got everything on there. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a little alcohol to my paper just to get it wet a little bit at my base. And then I'm adding some ink, and I have this beautiful color. Can't think of the name of it, but I'll put it on the title. It's the same colors that I used in my planner. Like I said, I wanted everything to coordinate, and I just mixed that around, dab here, dab there, adding this beautiful rusty hinge. I love this color combo, and I'm adding more alcohol to help spray that along. And then I don't want to dab it. I just want to let it dry in its place. I don't want to take away from it. So I just grabbed my heat tool to make that dry right where it is. And then I went over with a little bit of Dilutions black ink just to darken up that turquoise a little bit. So I'm doing the same thing on this one. I'm just really just randomly adding the color, making sure I saturate it and just let it do its thing by adding that drywall tape and that texture. It's folding around and oh my God, I just love it so much. And then that green looks really nice on there. And then boom, a little bit of that brown and add a little bit more alcohol. You can use water if you want. Find alcohol dries faster. So I just went ahead and added that and leave it like that, Tamika. Don't do anything. I'm going to push it a little bit with my little blow tool here and make sure it gets in some of those white areas that I want covered. And that's it. I like using that. It kind of spreads things around without having to move everything else. So kind of spot sprays. And then I'm going to put that aside, let it air dry while I do the other one. Just the same way that I did the first two. So just dab and dip, dab and dip. I decided to go ahead and spray a little bit more on that first one that I did because I like the deeper, richer color that came out with the second one. So I wanted to go ahead and move a little bit more around in there. And there's that rich, dark color that I was looking for. So boom. If you don't like the first try, go back in. It doesn't hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well, just like I did the other two. And then next time I'm going to use like some paper towel for some texture. I know some people use tinfoil. They just use a lot of things to get texture on their projects. So here's the tissue paper that I'm going to use, just a little piece. I tore off way too much because I'm really only using a scrap. Adding a little bit of wet glue to that. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the tissue paper on top just to one, bring in a little black because I want to add some splatters because I love splatters to my project and just to break up a little bit of the rusty turquoise situation that I got going on in the background. And there I am bringing out those splatters from that dilutions spray ink bottle and a little paintbrush. So I'm going to go ahead and add my letters. Again, my word for this year is AIM. And it just came to me after searching for different types of letters and how they made me feel. This one just popped out of nowhere, and that's what I decided to use for this year. So you'll see that in a lot of my projects here this year. So I'm just adding some hot glue to the back of my letters with, again, this copper color cardstock from Cardstock Warehouse. And then I'm adding some wet glue to add the second layer to the back of that. Just to create some sturdiness. I don't want it to look flimsy. I forgot to mention that I use a script stamp to go over the pennant with a little bit of script and some black ink to tie everything in all together. I decided to cut out a little oval just to, again, break up some of the dark tones. Wanted to bring out a little bit of the white. And I just grabbed my gears and put those on there. And I was like, okay, that's going to look cute. So I cut up my gears a little bit. I knew I wanted some to be on the left, a little bit on the right, and I just really randomly placed them on there. So that's all I did. Added a little hot glue to the bottom and lay it on there. And then I added some pop dots to the back of that scalloped oval and added that to my pennant because I wanted that to stand out a little bit higher against the gears and the script and all of the paint and stuff behind there. I'm using glossy accents for this. I should have used those for the gears as well, but I use glossy accents and then hot glue for a permanent, quick, short-term adhesive. So yeah, I do that to all of those, and then I go ahead, peel the back off of my first letter and add it to my tag. And then I did that to the numbers 2 and number 3, and I was all done. And then I'm going to do my little attachment of, nope, first I'm going to do some splatters on those, which I told y'all that earlier, so you already knew that. Now I'm going to do my little attachment things that I do with the straws, which is cutting them up to measure the sides of the back so we don't have to see the holes in the front of the tags or the pennants, and then we don't have to punch eyelets. We just adhere a straw to the back and with hot glue and string it through. But first we have to layer all of these pieces to make sure that they are nice and sturdy. So I did that with wet glue because it'll make a nice adhere. And so I don't know what I was doing. I think Robert was talking to me. So there's the straw to the back of that pennant, hold that there for a little bit, and do the same things for 2 and 3. 2 and 3, you can make the a couple layer straws if you don't want it to hang, but I just do one straw bit at the top because I kind of want it to fall like a regular banner. I don't want it to stay straight. I wanted to have that sinking motion, movement in my pennant. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab some twine. This black and white twine coordinates beautifully with my dots, brings in the black, brings in the little washi paper that I added. I tie one in a little twist with a little bit of hot glue. My hot glue is medium temp, so I can just roll that through there, and I use it to guide through the straw a lot easier than fumbling through with the twine going all over the place. So just add a little hot glue or a piece of tape to the end of your string and thread it right on through. Get the placement down where you want it because we're going to secure that with some more hot glue. So make sure you have it even. You make sure you have them laying how they're going to lay, because after this next step, this is the point of no return. So grab your hot glue gun, hold it steady, and then just shoot some hot glue in both ends. Stick the nozzle in as far as you can. Shoot hot glue inside there. Squeeze, squeeze, tie it off. Add another glue stick, squeeze, squeeze, and then make sure that, anything that you're oozing out of the side, go ahead and clean that up because you don't want it to, seep to the other side. So adjust accordingly so that this is where it goes. This is where it goes. You don't want it to be wonky. So after you get done with that, let that cool for a quick second. I usually go in and tie up any loose ends, and boom, there you have it. Cut off your ends where you tied your glue at, and you're all done with your cute pennant. I hope you guys enjoyed what I created. Be sure to check out all the links for Yixuan Scrapbooking, Cardstock Warehouse, anything that I linked down below in the description box. And if you like what you see, please take a minute and like this video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought about this. All right, talk to you later. Bye.